You're listening to Made of More with Laura O'Donoghue, proudly sponsored by Empower Fitness Carlow. Train with world-class coaches and join classes built for lifelong results. Get stronger, feel better, be empowered. Find us on Instagram at Empower Fitness Carlow.
Hi, it's Laura O'Donoghue and welcome back to Made of More. If you're tuning in for the first time, this podcast is all about strength we discover when life doesn't exactly go to plan. Each week, I chat with people who've taken their struggles and turned them into something stronger. This season of Made of More is sponsored by Empower Fitness Carlow. Train with world-class coaches and join classes built for lifelong results. Get stronger, feel better, be empowered. Find them on Instagram at Empower Fitness Carlow. So, let's dive in. This is Made of More. Today's episode is a soft, honest conversation with Nathalie Lennon. Nathalie shares her personal journey with food, body image and skin struggles, and how navigating these experiences in the public eye has shaped her growth, healing and self-compassion. Welcome to the couch, Nathalie.
It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me, Laura.
You're so welcome. We are besties.
Yes.
Let's get that out there first. Absolute best friends. We'll be absolutely lost without you. And I am so honoured that you're sitting on the couch with me today.
Honest to God, it is so exciting. Yay. Like, you know, over my time in this industry, there's been a few podcast guest appearances. I've never been as excited for one.
Oh my God, I love this.
We just know each other so well. It's amazing. And can I just say, you sounded so amazing in that intro and so sweet. I was like, is this the girl that teaches Hot Concept and literally roars the house down?
And I do, believe me. You'd never think it by looking at me, but I do. We are here to have an honest conversation about your life, your struggles, your accomplishments, everything that you've been through. And I think it's a really amazing story to see someone that was struggling so much years and years ago to now being one of the people that I would look up to so much.
Oh my God, stop. I look up to you and you know
this is why we're best friends, because we just
going to go.
But it's amazing to see a woman advocating for other women the way you do and in such a sweet, beautiful, Nathalie way.
Thank you, Laura.
You're so
That is so sweet. It's funny when you say that, you know, the struggles I've overcome. Sometimes when you get so far from those struggles, you forget about how tough those times were, and you listen to the likes of your podcast and you're like, God, now they were struggles. Like, some of these people have struggled more than I have. But then you have to remember that, like, your problems are relative to your life, and I kind of have to keep
this is what I kind of want to get across in this podcast, is that just because your things are, you think to yourself they're smaller, or other people might think they're not as important. When you're going through something, especially as a young woman, that's hard. It doesn't matter. Everyone's circumstances are so different, and everyone goes through different things. But what is it that you went through? Let's go back.
Yeah.
Tell me all. Tell me the story.
I'll probably start by saying trigger warning, eating disorder comments approaching, because now, as someone who suffered from it, I understand how there's so many different triggers for this sort of thing, just to be prepared for it. But started off, I always try to do long story short here. Basically, I graduated from Trinity College, Earth Science degree, decided I wasn't ready to enter the workforce yet, also struggled to get a job without a master's. So I began to fall in love with fitness throughout my final few months of college. And then I went through a breakup, which probably I would have been 21 at the time.
I actually think I remember this time of your life.
32 now. Like, ew.
So I am not telling what age I am, but I'm older, okay?
So you're talking 11 years ago, different lifetime. But I do think when I was 21, I thought I was an adult. I thought I was solid, like mentally thought I was
strong,
rock hard. Nothing could knock me, that I wouldn't be easily influenced, or that a heartbreak would maybe affect me negatively. And like, now being 32, I look back, was like any heartbreaker, like, what was I so sad over? Everything gets better.
But there is a lot of young people going through what you were just after speaking about, you know, and that's hard.
Like, you know, I'm in the most fabulous, loving relationship of my life right now.
Shout out to Max.
Shout out to Max. But at the same time, I am grateful that I experienced heartbreak when I was younger, because just like you said at the beginning, that made me so much stronger
It does.
in the years to come. Although it probably at first was a huge part of what triggered the downhill spiral for a couple of years. Maybe like kickstarted it, and after that everything else became a part of what like led to me developing an eating disorder. So I started doing this like fitness challenge, BBG, Bikini Body Guide. What a name! Roll our eyes. Yeah. I know. So shared my progress pictures. The woman who created the guides ended up sharing my progress pictures on her page. She had millions of followers. My page started to go viral at the time. Instagram was a different place. No stories. Videos were barely on it. It was just like single photos.
The
carousels
didn't exist.
Nearly, wasn't it? Yeah, we're ancient now. So we were there for like the OG days on Insta. And I guess that's when things started to go downhill before I really realised.
Was it just like because you were in the public eye more? Or what was it that... Yeah, okay.
Do you know, sometimes I wonder if I didn't have Instagram and I just did this personal trainer course, which I went on to do afterwards, and I never shared the journey on Instagram, would it still have developed? You know, would the struggles with body image and food still have developed? And the more the time goes on, I actually think they might have still happened.
Do you know what? I think you're right, and the reason being you're right is that it was different. Yeah. It was different then, you know.
When I think of how my mind just really got so caught up in my reflection, I think it would have got caught up in it regardless, because it wasn't just Instagram. Now personal training was my business, so I know you'll relate to this as well, having taught so many classes and been a PT as well. I felt like my body was going to be like my reflection, how much muscle tone I had was going to be like a direct correlation to how much clients I would then get in the gym or how many people would come to my classes.
Just because of the way you looked.
Just respect me as a personal trainer. Because I hate saying this, it sounds so cruel, but I have heard those people say, I'd never go to that trainer because sure, they have weight on them.
That actually drives me insane.
It drives me wrong. Pretty sure it was actually said at my PT course. So, you know, you're becoming established in the industry, trying to establish yourself, and you've heard people say, well, you wouldn't go to X, Y, or Z. Absolutely terrible. Like, what a horrible thing to say. But having heard people say that, you're like, okay, so then they're going to come to me. Yeah. So they're going to come to me if I look like just more fit, more, I suppose, toned. Whatever the word you want to use is toned. PTs hate that word, like obviously, but you know what I mean. So yeah, then I was getting really caught up in how I could aesthetically change my body. And this led to
so beautiful.
It led to a downward spiral. And at the beginning, it probably wasn't that bad because I think I still looked healthy. And then that's when it went downhill because I decided to do a physique competition. So a bikini physique competition, you stand up on stage in a bikini and allow 4 people to sit there and judge your body, tell you what areas are weak and need to be improved, what areas are good, like absolutely ridiculous. And look, I think there's a very, very small percentage of people who can do bodybuilding competitions.
I agree there, yeah.
And walk away with a healthy mindset and not have a disordered relationship with food or fitness. I think often men get I kind of feel sorry for men who do bodybuilding competitions that walk away with struggles because I feel like they can't talk about them as much. I feel like for women it's more easily recognised. I genuinely could pick one woman out of about 50 I know that said she didn't struggle with a disordered relationship with food and fitness after doing it.
That's
genuinely.
That's
Recalibrated
beautiful.
Bodies is their name on Instagram. They're a couple. I just remember she was the one page I found that used to talk so much about her cycle and tracking her menstrual cycle.
Which is so important.
Yeah. And to be honest, so I came across her page probably a bit after I did my competition. Or maybe I only paid attention to it after because it was making me too aware of what I didn't want to be aware of. At this point, I am 41 kg, which is a lot lighter than what I am now. Yeah. And look, body weight is relative to everyone, but I don't mind sharing that figure because it is scary. And that's when I remember waking up one morning, I think I stood on the scales, which I was kind of addicted to doing, looked at myself and was like, okay, now you've lost a lot. You've lost health, you've lost muscle mass, not just body fat, like you are ill looking.
What was the emotion in that feeling that you got, like that had to be upsetting for you because of everything you put into it to then at the end feel that way.
Yeah, do you know what? This is the problem. I wasn't upset. I wasn't even disappointed in myself. I felt so much guilt because I was a personal trainer who was teaching classes, who was giving programs, who was trying to inspire people. And I do think, right, the year of 2016 when it all went downhill, that's when I was personal training endlessly, teaching classes endlessly. I do think I changed a lot of clients' lives for the better in those years, but I was at the absolute bottom of rock bottom at that point, because I spoke about it.
A lot of personal trainers.
Yeah, you know, online there's this trend right now: 2026 versus 2016.
I saw that post, right?
Did you?
And I was like, you have grown so much since 2016 to now. But your journey has just taught you so much about your body, respecting your body, knowing your body, knowing how it feels, because that's the most important thing.
I felt like all I could do was kind of make a humorsome post about this 2016 throwback trend that's going down. But I got so many messages, particularly one from my sister and my brother-in-law, that just put me into tears because
that's close to you, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure my sister won't mind me saying, like, she was the one person who really realised there was something wrong. But when she tried to say it to me or help me, I was so standoffish because it was probably before I was ready to accept it.
But it was you were kind of noticing it was there, but when someone says it,
I kind of knew it was there. But Laura, I was like, there's nothing wrong with how I weigh every single meal and how I do fasted cardio and a strength session later on, and like rigidly stick to everything my watch is telling me to do. I was like, there's nothing wrong with this because, well, everyone I follow on Instagram is doing it. So I've got this community online, and I don't mean one I'm building. I mean, in general, hashtag FitFam, whatever it is.
Oh God, we're going back there.
Yeah. Hashtag Irish FitFam. Like everyone's doing it. So I was like, she just doesn't get it because this isn't her thing. So that's why she thinks it's, you know,
but
something
I
wrong.
know.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm qualified. But she knew. Like, she knew me better than anyone. And it's funny, I've spoken to my mum about it since, and she was like, I think it's a good thing I didn't realise. She was like, I knew you were very thin and I knew you were small. And sometimes people would say it to me, which I never knew. And she was like, but I just
shouldn't much upset you. Your ma's so sweet.
She was like, I would just brush it underneath the mat and say, you were always very small. And she really never noticed that anything was wrong. And a part of me is grateful for that because I didn't feel like I ever let her down. Whereas I actually did feel like I let my sister down because she was asking me to heal and I wouldn't. Do you know? Not asking me to heal, like just trying to get me help.
You just didn't see what she seen though.
Yeah, like she did actually. They brought me to this orthorexia therapist. I never actually spoke about this. And I was like, right, I'll go because I just wanted to keep the peace. Because I could see...
Yeah, it hurting your mum too.
I could see... Mum was just a bit confused and I don't think she thought there was a whole lot wrong. But Caroline could see it, but yet I still didn't want to agree to it. But I just went along to this orthorexia therapist. Deep down I probably knew something was wrong, more so to keep the peace. But it wasn't orthorexia. That's where you have an obsession with eating like very, very clean foods.
Yeah.
So like there was no problem for me to have processed protein shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Absolutely no problem. And after 2 or 3 weeks of restricting myself, no problem for me to sneak out of bed, go downstairs in the family home, open up the sweet drawer, chocolate press. And I feel like people are going to think I'm exaggerating because you're like quite low weight, where would you put it? But I genuinely would sit down and have about 10k calories in one sitting. My stomach would blow out. I would be in pain.
I never knew this about you.
Agony, like absolute agony. It's 2 a.m. I'm sitting up in the kitchen going, oh, I'm going to do all these wrappers because I don't want my mum to know.
Oh my God.
And then
that mental stress.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm like, well, I keep some in my room. Will I put them in the bin? I'll take some stuff off the top of the bin and put them under and put the rest of the rubbish on top, right? But then even the next morning, I'd be like, I can't eat breakfast now, can't eat lunch, better do 2 hours of cardio, have to work that off. Like, and I'd say to Mum, because she's my best friend at the end of the day.
You're
I'd be
very
like,
close. Yeah.
But I'd be like, Mum, I had so much chocolate last night. I woke up and I was starving. Like, I honestly, and she was like, would you stop? Everyone has a bit of chocolate. Like, and I'm like,
she
no,
didn't
Mum,
realise
I
how
ate
much.
half press and that cake and this and that. And she's like, you're great. She never realised it.
Yeah.
But it's funny looking back, like the agony I used to be in terms of pain, because the amount that would maybe happen once every. It got to a point, I think, where it probably was happening once a week, and then
started to become a habit.
Yeah, then I was like, right, this is really getting bad. So anyway, look, a day came where I admitted I needed help. And this is the thing with eating disorders, right? And I don't speak out about it as much on my platform anymore. When I did, I would get so many messages from concerned friends, concerned sisters, concerned mothers about their friend, daughter, or sister. It was always a girl. Maybe that's just because my following is more women than men. Saying, so when I spoke out about, I suppose, healing, after I'd gained back the weight and gone through the toughest part of the healing journey, they're like, how do we help X, Y, or Z? And I'm like, you just can't help them. Like, they have to want the help.
They have to realise it themselves.
And this is what's so difficult. It's like, it's a mental health disorder at the end of the day, like anxiety, like depression. If that person doesn't want the help, you cannot help them.
No.
And I'm not qualified when it comes to speaking about recovering clinically from an eating disorder anyway. But I did go to an ED, we'll say for short, eating disorder dietitian. And that really did help me. But sometimes it didn't. Like, I just think everyone's eating disorder, and sorry, just to, if you're kind of like, was it anorexia or was it? So it wasn't anorexia because I was like hell bent on eating 2,300 calories a day, 2 AT, would eat probably the same meals every single day, but I would exercise as much as I could of that off me. Mainly like 4 classes a day. I do exercises with all of my clients and my own session. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
and probably weren't eating
enough. I probably needed 4,000 a day, to be honest with you, which is what I did go on to try and eat when I was in recovery from it. But the most I could stomach in a day was like 3,600, 3,700. But
wow, that's still high. Like,
but once I started, it was like my body was like, give it to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's weird because the first few weeks I found it hard. All of a sudden then my hunger spiked. That's where I needed the help of the dietitian to bring those calories up, because my problem, like I said, it wasn't anorexia. It was obsession over the calorie count and kind of that balance between the calories and the exercise. And like, I do hear of girls having 1,200 calorie diets, and I'm like, the lowest I went when I was at my absolute low was just under 1,700 when I was being coached for the competition that time. You know, when you're literally looking like you're on death's door.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I mean, I couldn't live on that. That was, those days was no talking to me, antichrist starving. So I don't know how these girls do 1,200, 1,300. Because I was actually eating loads, I would just burn it all off. So there was no real name given to me for my ED. I looked it up to say that it's OSFED, which is Other Specified Feeding and Eating Disorders. It's a group that really have no name and account for more eating disorders than there are those with names. Wow. So like, it's just, I feel like I'd love to go back and study it, to be honest with you.
I think the people that study it should have to go through it, but they have so much experience.
I agree with you. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, and she might see a clip of this and be, I don't know. But the dietitian I went to, she was amazing, but I don't know if she struggled with one. And I hope to God she didn't. Like, I hope to God she didn't. But I could not help women the way I've helped some of them, only for I've gone through it. Like, I helped a lot of women to actually gain weight as well as lose it healthily back in the day. But I remember she used to say things like, you know, you have to get to a minimum of 18% body fat. You have to really cut out the rice cakes, like use oat cakes, like, she was like, they're
more
just
fuel stuff that
she's like, rice cakes are just but like, I fucking love rice cakes. No,
like,
I don't.
She does love rice cakes.
But on their own, they're absolute dirt, right? We don't like them on their own. But
they're not the best fuel.
They're not the best fuel, but what I do with them is I will like layer them up with peanut butter honey. Every morning I have a yogurt bowl, and still to this day I'll just crush a load of rice cakes in. I love the texture.
There's the texture, yeah.
I love the texture.
She's fitting them rice cakes in somewhere.
Sponsor me, Jacobs, rice cakes, right? So
please sponsor
It's
Nathalie
about
Lennon.
8 years going strong with you. So anyway,
Oh my God.
the plain ones, not the corn cakes. Anyway,
Very particular.
The rice cakes are out of stock one time recently. I was like, we'll try corn cakes. Anyway,
They didn't cut it.
She would tell me anyway that like I would have to like cut them out and have something more. And in my head I was like, but I actually like those. But then she's kind of convincing me that that's a disordered thought. I don't really like them.
Yeah, but maybe you just really like.
But deep down, I was like, I'm actually not going to tell her that I'm still having the rice cakes. I'll tell her I'm having the oat cakes or the white toast or whatever it was she was telling me to have instead. I was like, oh, I like my rice cakes, and I'll have an oat cake as well and white toast at a different time. All these fear foods I was trying to conquer, right? And And when I told her I wasn't having as much of them, you could see she was like, great, okay. And in my head, I'm like, I'm still having them. But I healed. I recovered. I gained back the weight. I got my period back. I didn't have to do everything she was telling me to do. And also, I got mine back at, I think, because you're
This is a very important
Yeah.
part of this podcast that I want you to really get across. The
So I
woman's
guess
body.
I'm going to go back a couple of steps. Yeah, like the menstrual cycle for a woman is just the pillar of your health, and every single aspect of your cycle from, you know, the bleed itself, ovulation, any pains in between, how much you bleed, all of this tells you so much about your body. So much.
How regular you are, everything, yeah, of course.
And we are just not, I hope they are now, but when I was in school, I was just not taught any of this.
You were taught the basics.
Hey gal,
You were-
every
yeah.
28 days you'll get a period, you'll be grand.
Or you're in
Keep
a hall
going.
and, you know, there's a projector there telling you everything.
Yeah.
But really, it's so, you need to be so in depth with young teenagers
Yeah.
now to advise them on their own body.
And you know what? Not just women. I'm seeing this like trend somewhat online at the moment where some men who have established followings and have a partner are talking about the importance of them understanding their partner's menstrual cycle so that they can support her through it. Like understanding there's a week where she's not going to want to do anything in the
She'll
bedroom.
hate you.
There's no bond pressure. There's a week where she is going to be more emotional.
Yes.
So don't just text her back, Kay. Like she might overthink it. Explain like
like,
all
"What
these
do you
little
mean,
things.
hey?"
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when she'll eat more, when she has more energy, all these things. And I'm like, I actually wish as boys in school they respected it the same way.
I actually think that is so, like, that point that's never spoken about, what
No.
the boy,
I've never actually said that
No.
before, but I've thought it a lot.
but it doesn't that make sense though? If
Yeah.
you're in a relationship with somebody,
Like a few times those videos have come up for me and I'm like, I'll just send that to Max. You know, like just
he can relate to this.
but I'm like, will men ever understand what it's like for us? I don't know. But anyway,
I think that's a losing battle.
yeah, like it's a tough one. But when it comes to my menstrual cycle journey, so yes, I was underweight, under fat, had developed a disorder. But I was on the pill since school up until 2017. So I did the competing, lost the weight, kind of gained back some, lost it again, stayed on the pill through all of this. And it was then I came across more information online, like that page, Recalibrated Bodies. They still post a bit. The Instagram is gone. I don't see it as much anymore. But I realised, okay, I actually might not have a cycle because no one told me when you go on the pill, even if you are underweight, because I remember there was this thing about if you lose your period, that's a really bad sign, right? I knew that was a thing. This is at like 21 years old, but I was on the pill and still getting a period. So I was like, I'm fine. Like people are telling me I'm not okay, but I have my period, so I must be okay. But how did no one teach me along the
I
way
know,
that
I
that's a
was just gonna
fake
say, they
bleed?
didn't, yeah.
Excuse me. How did no one tell me that as a woman? How did no one teach me about my body and this pill I've been taking for the last few years and how much damage it could actually be doing to me? And that's not me trying to like look down upon anyone that takes the pill because I know so many girls who
It's
still
just
do.
your personal experience of what happened to your body.
Exactly. Like if it still agrees with you and it's the right decision for you, like I'm like, do whatever you need to do, you know? But it never affected me like mood wise or anything like that. You know the way some people say they have mood swings and everything. I actually was totally fine. But when I came off it then, summer 2017 was when I kind of realised I need to heal. And that's when I came off it to see what the crack was. And it was 6 years until I got my next period.
What?
Yeah, it's actually
I
during
knew
COVID.
it had been a while. I didn't know it was 6 years.
So after you get your first period when you've lost it, so the kind of scientific, or I don't know is the word medicinal term, for having lost your period this way is hypothalamic amenorrhea. I
How
think
did that even come out of your mouth? Because
I
I
know.
wouldn't even try to say that.
HA for sure,
Okay,
right?
that's
I
better.
think there's actually two versions, like primary and secondary or something, because some women can lose it from actual physiological problems.
Okay.
And then others can lose it. It's really common with like women in sport, like Olympic athletes.
Is it
especially
just because
endurance.
they're pushing so much more?
Yeah. We are, as a woman, like our body is not, as humans in general, but particularly women, our body is not supposed to live in this stress state because, like, according to biology, we're meant to create a baby. So you can't be stressed or your body's going to be like, this is not a safe place to
Yes.
have a baby. So it shuts off having your period. And you're living in a fight or flight state literally all the time. You just don't realise.
Your nervous system is always just on its high.
Yeah. So 3 months go by, I suppose, at the beginning, 2017, no period comes. And I think is it after having 3 missed cycles or 6? I'd need to double check that now. Again, not a doctor or nurse or anything. But then you can safely say you've hypothalamic amenorrhea, and particularly when you're so underweight and so under body fat, because they do say women need to be between 18 and 22%. I think body fat to be at like a healthy range. And I kind of hate talking the figures at the same time because I like to detach from figures, but then there's a part of me that is like I guess a scientist at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That I'm like, figures are important.
But it's very intriguing. You find that now, that's very intriguing.
Yeah, I do. There's always going to be a part of me that's so obsessed with numbers and also wants to step away from them because of the deep obsession
trauma,
I had with them.
Yeah.
And it never goes away. But when it comes to your cycle side of things, so hypothalamic amenorrhea, HA, knew I had it. The problem is, and there could be many women listening to this who struggle with it, because I believe we're living in a day and age where, you know, I did cardio in the morning, strength session number 2 of the day, have a 20k run tomorrow, might do legs after, doing a hot concept, gonna go run 20k.
It just gives me, gets my nervous system going.
Yeah, and like, look, the thing is, maybe people can do all this if you're fueling it properly and you're recovering and you're getting enough sleep. So I do think some people are built to do this sort of training. And
100%.
Once they fuel it, like, there's definitely a few girls in Empower that I know are built for that sort of training.
Animals.
Absolutely, like queens. But I definitely know that I wasn't. And yeah, so basically, if you're on a hormonal contraceptive, you're not going to know if you've actually lost your period or not. If you come off it, then you'll know. If you've lost it and you have HA, you don't just get it back by eating more food. You have to stop exercising.
So your body has to heal within.
Your body just needs to have time. Yeah, it has to heal from within. And that was where I struggled. That's why it took me 6 years, and that's why it can take women so long. Number one, you have to adjust to eating a lot more food, and the body changes. Having to upgrade your wardrobe,
for you, that
really hard.
Yeah, I can imagine it was, because you're going from someone that's fixated on their numbers and their scale to someone,
so
that's trying to get over that.
We reunited during that process. And I'm not sure if I told you as much of it then, but when I was going into Empower for physiotherapy.
I'm actually never going to forget that day that you
walked
in. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here?
Hello, you.
So I had a hip injury from overdoing it. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yes.
And I tell you, I was overdoing it because I was at the point where I'd gained back a healthy weight. Now my body fat percentage,
probably stayed going.
Body fat percentage was probably 14, I think, at this stage. It was under 7 when I went to the dietitian the first time, which is crazy.
God.
And
I'm learning a lot about you in this couch this evening.
I just couldn't stop exercising because I just loved it, and I still do.
But it's that adrenaline rush as well. It's just, you go in bad form. It's like last week when we were boxing together. It's like you go in bad form, you come out and you're like,
and like,
I can
that's
breathe.
why exercise is such a gift. Like, all the classes you do is such a gift to give people, because the endorphins you feel afterwards, it takes away your stress. In my opinion, more than anything else in this life, I love running, like going for a run.
You
it's
always
just
loved
brilliant.
running,
I always did. Even throughout college, before I got into fitness, I'd go for a run along the canal to clear my head at the end of the day. It was never anything to do with fitness. It was
just
like,
clear your head.
Just need fresh air, need to move. I've been sitting all day, yeah. So when I had to stop moving, now I could go for walks, but she was kind of saying, don't go for a hike unless you have a lot of extra carbs.
So don't put your body under any pressure that there's no need to be.
So for anyone who's recovering from HA, that's why it's so difficult, and that's why they need support, because their outlet is probably exercise, particularly female athletes. If it's your job, makes it even more difficult. So it's really hard to stop the exercise side of things. So that was a bit of an inner battle for a couple of years, hence the 6-year process.
Yeah, 6 years is a long time.
Yeah, I really felt like I was close sometimes. Like, you're starting to feel cramps and you think, this is it. Like, it's coming, it's almost here. And then I'd get a bit excited and I'd start exercising too much. And then COVID happened and I was like, I have to do online classes with people, in the new year, and everyone's doing it. And I think I was just about to get my period back that time, and I started doing online classes again, and all those feelings
high
went away.
intensity was back.
Yeah. Second I stopped, it was April, and I'd been asked to go up on Ireland AM, I was up at like 5 a.m. getting all the stuff ready to make non-alcoholic cocktails on Ireland Day
Oh my God.
for a brand I was working with at the time. They were lovely non-alcoholic stuff. Woke up, had my period. I was like,
hallelujah.
I cannot put into words the utter joy that I felt that morning to be like, I'm healthy again. My body feels like this is a safe space. I felt like I was a woman again. I felt like I wasn't letting people down anymore. Why am I getting emotional right now?
Because it's a lot now. It was a lot.
Oh my God, Laura, how do you do this to people?
I'm so sorry, but it is a lot. Like you carry that with you, you know?
But I think because, like, I don't know, a woman's period, some people just don't, they just like joke about it.
They do, yeah.
So I remember when I got back, it had been 6 years of struggling. And I was like, I'm so happy. I remember following another girl who was going through it, and when she got hers back, people are going to think that this sounds stupid, but when she got hers back, she held a period party.
Oh, yeah,
and I was
she
like,
was probably years without it.
Exactly. I was like, oh, I'd love to do something like that. Never planned it. I remember saying it, and I remember it got back to me about a friend of mine at the time talking about how that was such a stupid thing. Why would she have a period party? That is so stupid. And there was like, it just got back to me. A friend was like, I need to tell you what so-and-so said or whatever.
Oh no, that must have hurt a lot though, didn't it?
And from that moment I was like, okay, you have to pick and choose your friends in this life. Not everyone really supports your battles.
Do you think it was a lack of education from being younger?
I think
growing up around your period.
I think maybe a lack of education, but I think there's a big preconception that eating disorders and anything related to something like, can you not just eat more, rest more? I think people seem to think it's a choice.
Oh, it's so not a choice.
And it's just not a choice. Like your brain chemistry is rewired and you don't get to make these decisions. That's why going against it is so hard. Yeah. So that stuck with me. That like I'll never forget those comments because I felt like sharing my journey was something that was just exciting and helping other people dealing with it, and that my friends supported me. And when that came from someone who I thought was a friend, I was like so hurt.
That just goes straight to your heart, doesn't it?
Broke me.
Yeah.
Broke me. But listen, that is the journey. And one thing that we didn't mention on all of that, I suppose there's two things. My skin had a terrible time throughout those 6 years because you can imagine the hormonal cascade that was going on. But also it's quite typical for a lot of females to get an acne surge 6 months typically after coming off the pill is when it can surge. So it's not straight away. I don't understand the signs specifically. I think it's something to do with when different hormones start to build back up naturally or something. I'm not 100% sure.
The human body is just amazing anyway, isn't it?
But listen, I got the acne and that was a battle for a few years, as you know.
Yeah, that was a bit like you're coming from, you know, being obsessed with numbers to trying to get through that.
And you're aesthetic from the neck down. And you're just about over that. And then from the chin up starts going mental.
People do not understand sometimes. And I'm sure, like we're being honest here, I'm sure you've got loads of messages if you were upset over your skin that people are like, so what? It's your skin. People don't realise that, as we just said at the start of the podcast, what is, you know, hurting you inside. Like I always say, I don't expect anyone to understand. But we need society to be more open. That things can actually really affect somebody, especially teenage girls, young girls in their 20s. At the end of the day, we're on Instagram every day. You see this picture perfect person. And our young people are trying to follow that. I love when you come on and say, look, this is how it is. This is really upsetting me.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that skin journey because it's been a long skin journey.
Yeah, like I think if I was to really give you every detail, we'd be here all night, but it went up and down a lot. Like I got the acne, it was really bad. Then I found a skincare range that actually seemed to do the trick. So I was like, this is great. So I started doing a lot of work for that. But not even a work. I was an ambassador. They weren't paying me, but I had a affiliate code with them.
Yes.
So if someone did buy a product with my code, you might make a little bit off it. But even though they weren't paying me per se, there was quite a like rigid, you know,
they were do so
great
much.
with sending out products. They had to do so much. That was brilliant. I was like, this is magic. It's healed my acne. But for some reason, a year and a half, 2 years later, it started coming back in a different way. This time, it was like deep cystic.
So what did you start with
painful.
then? When you acne
It was like
started?
lots of smaller spots.
Okay.
Lots of smaller underneath the surface bumps,
Okay.
but like loads of them.
Right.
And
Sore.
then that went away. Sore, but not as sore as the one that was to come. That was like deep cystic acne. So like you get a cyst. I still get the odd one now. Like it's just the whole circle goes red and huge and inflamed, and I genuinely
It's not
have
just
a problem
spot, though,
where I have to
Natalie,
pop
is
them.
it?
No,
Not.
but so much more than
It's
spot.
So deep, yeah.
So deep. So do you know, this is probably what really hurt me, because I've never spoke about this either, and we're not going to name any brands' names
No,
here.
of course
okay?
not.
But I done so much for this brand, so much, because I genuinely still think their products are amazing,
Yes.
right? I actually do, but they just stopped working for me. I changed nothing. What can I do about the fact
There's
that
nothing you can do
a
about
different
that.
form of acne
No.
came back that I am distraught over? I'm trying everything. I'm using an extra product or two, and it's still coming back. So I go on my stories one day and I'm like, don't know what's going on. My acne seems to be coming back.
That
I think
was hard
I'm gonna
for you to do it as
yeah,
well.
really
Yeah.
hard. It's like, I think I have to go and see a dermatologist, because I've just tried everything. And I know people are probably like, skin, whatever, like get on with your life, but it was bringing me down. And I think
course
a
it
lot of
was.
girls like hearing about the skin journey. And at this point, skin had become quite a prominent like theme or pillar in my content. So I was like, I'm nothing but honest with my followers.
You are
and
very honest.
I think sometimes people think that's easy. Like even sitting here now telling my best friend all of this in a deeper form than I ever
It's
have.
hard, though.
I still will drive home going, oh, what are people going to think of me being so open about these things? But I'm like, fuck it. If it helps someone, I'm okay with
This
that.
is why we're here. This is why I'm sitting on this couch. This is why this podcast is what it is. It's to help other people. It's not to judge. It's to help. If there is women that are feeling that low the way you felt,
Yeah.
that you can help.
That's the only
If
reason.
someone had grabbed your hand back in 2016
Yeah.
and said, I'll help you, I'll give you the advice, I'm going to be honest, this is how it feels, you would have loved that.
I would have. And I think a lot of the content, like a lot of the things that got me through what I was struggling with, was finding other girls online sharing their journey.
Other people, yeah, you weren't
It's
alone.
not, it wasn't sexy influencer content. This is
No.
raw, authentic struggles and the highlights. You know, it's always the highs and lows. But when it came to my skin that time, I said, I think I'm going to have to see a dermatologist, because nothing seems to be working. But this foundation is fantastic and it's mineral based, and I've been using that because they had a makeup line as well as a skincare line. So here's my discount code. I'm going to link it here, because I think I was due to put up a story. So I was like, great, did that, was honest, get a message saying I am disrespecting all of the staff, saying that I'm going to go and see a specialist. How could I do something like that? It was absolutely terrible. Horrible way for an ambassador to represent the brand.
Oh, nah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I remember I know the exact place I was driving when the message came through, and I started to shake and I started to cry, because I was still quite new to the whole ambassador role,
course.
Instagram scene,
That
power
was a
of
big
my audience.
message to get.
And when I mean to say that affiliated code for the first 3 months of COVID did bits. Like it got me through a living for COVID purely alone.
Yeah.
So I do think I really helped the brand, and they just seemed so lovely to me until I did this. And then it was like,
But I
Can you
don't get
take-
that, because that wasn't, you were being honest.
apparently I disrespected every member of the staff because
I
they are
just don't know how.
specialists. But they're not qualified dermatologists. But anyway, I took down the story, got a call from the owner of the company telling me, honey, you know you don't have to be on, literally her word.
Oh God, no,
You
don't
know
say honest.
you don't have to be honest with your followers all the time.
No, you do.
You know you can just put a bit of the branded of makeup over it when you're talking about
Oh my God,
the
I hate
this or
that.
the that. And if you're going to go down the route of talking about this and seeing dermatologists and all that buzz, I just don't think you're going to be the right fit as an ambassador.
Hold on. So you're, for being honest, sorry now, for being honest and not even slating the product.
Still
you-
literally saying how much I love them.
Well, how is that? How?
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. So after that, I was kind of like,
that's the problem in this world.
Lost my faith in the influencer world, because I'm like, how many other girls are being told this and just actually doing that? Like blurring out their videos, covering their makeup when they're talking about, or covering their breakouts when they're talking about skincare products, and like
that's not honest. Like,
but I think a lot of it is fear, because it's like, well, a brand is telling me to do this, so I better do it. At the end of the day, like obviously I waited until that evening. I sent an email.
You are a different person now. You will not do that.
I'm stepping down. Yeah. But I do. So that was kind of the last point to touch on with the skin and everything. And look, it was a really tough. It was a really tough journey after all of that, because I went on Roaccutane. Went to the dermatologist, tried a few different antibiotics, came off them. They would work, then it would come back. This happened for a while. Last resort was the antibiotic called Roaccutane, or some people call it Accutane.
A lot of people are on that.
Yes, and it is a really, really heavy drug on your system.
I know when you're going through that. I remember you going through that, and it is very, very hard on someone.
Some people, I feel like, have it like easier than others. I don't like saying the word easier,
but every woman is different. Also,
I remember girls messaging me beforehand saying I was on it. It's really not that bad. So I was hoping I'd be one of the ones that wasn't that bad for, but I got a purge. A lot of people get a purge when they're on it.
So that's just like an outbreak.
Everything will come out first, and that could happen for 2 weeks, or it could happen for 3 months. So for me, it happened for nearly 4 months, I think.
But so let's go back, because a lot of your work is online. So therefore it's affecting your business, which is affecting your income, which is affecting your mental health, which people do not understand.
No,
it's a road. Yeah,
and they're like, it's your skin, get over it. And even to myself, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many problems in this world. Get over your skin. No one's looking at
it's
it.
It's your job too, Donna, so it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not.
But you know what? Like, Laura, you remember some of those breakouts. People were looking at them. You couldn't have missed them.
I know, but I used to hate seeing you so upset in yourself, because all I wanted to do was make you feel better, and I didn't know how.
You're the best in the world, though. Just I could always tell that that's how you felt, and just knowing that there was a friend there who was just there. That was enough,
but that's very important in your life. If you have 50 million friends and not one of them can be there when you need them, you're better off not having them 50 million friends.
So true.
Can I ask, like, the feeling of, say, you having to go to the dietitian to going to the dermatologist, was that feeling, that low feeling? I know they're different circumstances, but they do mentally affect you.
Mentally, yeah. I suppose, particularly the dietitian more so than the dermatologist, but you just kind of feel like you're at a dead end.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're kind of, you're starting with
like
something else.
Yeah, like there was definitely moments in both of those journeys, albeit that they were very different. Like one was a mental health disorder that it was actions I was doing that I couldn't necessarily control. The other was something physiological that I couldn't find a root cause for. Do you know? So they're slightly different that way. But during both of those journeys, I probably did feel like, why me? And is this never going to get better? Like, yeah, I can say I went and I healed, and eventually I rested and I gained back, some weight, or eventually my skin improved a bit. I still get breakouts, whatever. There was times along both of those journeys where I was so upset and sad because I just thought I was never going to get better.
And that's an awful feeling when you feel like, is this how I'm going to be for the rest of my life?
And you're looking at, your mid-20s, it's a bit of a prime. Like, let's call it a spade a spade.
It is, of course it is.
My 30s have to be my prime because I messed up in mid-20s.
But like, there's a lot happens in your 20s.
There was a lot, like, girls going on years to Australia, going on all these, like, different trips, or like going to J1s even in America, or going to work there. I couldn't do any of that because I was way too caught up in my disorder. Like, that was controlling everything.
But that's a disorder in itself, though.
Yeah.
Being caught up in your disorder.
Yeah.
And that's all you can kind of think about. And
it was. So I really have tried to live life a little bit more to the fuller over the last few years. But it wasn't
so an easy journey, but it definitely.
It's so true what you said at the beginning, that like all of the difficulties that you go through really do make you like who you are later on in life.
They really do.
But it's just such a hard topic to discuss with some people, because when it comes to your skin, as much as people are there for you, if you are depressed because of your acne, which there is a direct link of, you can't shake off that depression. it's really difficult.
Well, if someone says get over it, oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, I'm grand now.
And you know, that's what Mom, she wouldn't say get over it, but she'd be like, come on, get yourself together, like you're grand.
The older generation.
And I remember one day I said, Mom, you need to stop telling me that.
It's not a helping situation.
All I can do is cry. I was like, I need to cry. And she was like, okay, all right. I remember I got really serious. And the next time I went to her, because I was living nearby in a flat, so I texted her, be like, can you come in, because I can't stop crying. And like, I mean, panic attack, on the ground, can't breathe, in a heap. She comes in and she just holds me and she cries with me.
Sometimes that's all you need, though.
And that's all I needed.
You didn't need her to say one word.
No.
Oh, that actually breaks my heart.
I
that you were
know.
like that, though.
Brought us so close, but it was a really tough time. I mean, you'd say on Instagram, I've been down, I've been struggling, but no one ever knows what's really going on behind closed doors. And
no, they don't. They really don't. If you're struggling or you're not struggling.
There's been this trend going around, particularly over New Year's, where a lot of influencers were, and I say that with it not being a negative word because I'm considered one too by times, but it was like, sorry, I lied was the first picture, and then you swipe to the next one and it's like, I said I was this, but actually I was that. I said I felt this, but actually I felt that, like throughout the year to show, like, you know, just remember everyone has their own struggles. But I'm like, I actually don't ever want to be that person online. If I say I'm this is how it is. Like if I say I'm
why
low,
put that up if you're going to be honest online? I mean, there's a lot that's not authentic.
Yeah, and like if I say, I mightn't come on to the camera bawling, but I'll say I had a tough time over the weekend with my skin. I'll say it. That's how it is. If I'm ecstatic on a holiday in Thailand or whatever, that's it. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic.
Document the good, but you document the bad.
We need more authenticity and realness, and just let people be who they are online.
Stop judging people for what they do.
Yeah, sorry, I took a bit of a turn there.
That's
from
okay.
struggles,
No, but like it kind of all comes together.
I think, my point was like, the more people can share their struggles in that moment, the better this world is going to become. Yes. And so if people can be understanding of those struggles in that moment, and if people can have the courage to speak up about their struggles in that moment, I think obviously that's what mental health is all about, like talking, but then people also being understanding on the other side. I think that would make just everything a little bit easier for people who are going through the likes of what I went through. And
I hope in schools now that they're teaching them a lot more about, you know, your female body, because you've so many hormones and so much things happen to you through your life that we need to be educated on the matter of fact of even like your food, like you're a nutritionist as well.
Yeah. Health and nutrition coach. Yes. I'm always so careful with the qualification names.
Health and nutrition coach. But you dived into that because you experienced what you experienced and you wanted to help others.
Yeah.
Have you had many clients on that area?
Yeah. So just after I did that qualification, which would have been the year I got my period back.
Woohoo! She documented with a course.
I was like, okay, I want to help people like improve their diet, like get healthier, but in a way that's not the way the fitness industry has taught me. I wanted
counting calories and stuff. Yeah,
I wanted to be like understanding like whole foods, healthy foods, how to piece a meal together, what each food is going to do for your body. That's what I wanted. So I did this course with the Irish Institute of Nutrition and Health, and it was like a blended learning at the time. So some was online and some was in person.
Which is handy though, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
You loved it.
I absolutely loved it, and I brought all of those methods then into my coaching, and rather than fitness coaching, it became health and nutritional coaching.
I think that's who you are though.
I love it, but you know what? I love the fitness side of things too.
You're always going to love fitness. So that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't have the best start because of what happened to you, you still love fitness.
I was always going to love it. And that's another thing, like the dietitian, I remember kind of telling me, you're not going to be someone who should ever run long distance. Wouldn't be good for you.
Yeah, but that's not good either, because
puts you in a box.
If you heal, that means you've healed. You can't not run, or you're not in that.
I just think no struggle is ever the same as someone else's struggle, even if it's in the same topic or within the same area. Like no eating disorder is ever the same as someone else's eating disorder. So did I stop eating rice cakes? No, they were part of my healing journey. Do you know, still have them.
God, Jacobs don't sponsor you after all of this rice cake talk.
But like, did I say, right, I won't do long distance running? Absolutely not. Do you know what? When they sound so cliche.
When someone tells you not to do something, I knew you were going to say this.
Yes. Tell me not to do something.
She's looking at me going,
I will do it. Like the second she told me long distance running probably wouldn't recommend it, I'm like, I'm going to run a marathon someday. Second, I was told I'm not going to deadlift heavy again. I was like, deadlift heavy again. But no, I didn't actually. That sounds very like big.
No, but you were like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
In my head, I was like, yeah, I suppose I was. With the hip injury now, I wasn't sure at the time. I was like, maybe I never will. But a part of me was like, I think I'll probably try. And we got there. We've done both, So just you have to, I suppose, trust your intuition.
Oh yes, but your intuition doesn't really
else.
come to front until you get to a certain age.
Like, look, professionals are needed, like therapists, dietitians, doctors. Where would we be without any of them? I have so much respect for people with a qualification that high. But at the end of the day, you do have to come back to asking yourself, is what you're being told to do definitely the right thing for you? Do you know? Because a lot of the things I was probably told to do were not the right thing for me. And I knew there and then. And I didn't speak up. There's been a lot of things over the years where I've learned to speak up.
You were a lot quieter years ago than you are now. You're very confident.
I was thinking this coming into you. I was like, no, I have my days where I'm not confident. But when I was coming into Laura, I was like, geez, Laura definitely has saw how I used to be a complete walkover. And now I probably never shut up.
You are...
Stand up for myself
As I
now.
said at the start of this, I just look at you sometimes going, how are you just that cool? It's not kind of fair.
Sorry.
No, but
I see
it's
the
so
same to you.
true.
I'm like, look at this girl in her classes. Like, you have your music that you love.
The music is me though. That's why I'm crazy.
Yeah, but your music taste never would have been my music taste.
No.
But when I'm with you in your classes, I'm like,
that's what I'm there for.
It's my jam. Because look at her owning this. Like, yeah.
Come here, I have to say this because I know I've said how proud I am of you many a time because it's so true. But you hit over 100k on Instagram. I have to moment this. I'm sorry, this is a moment, right? Also, I don't think I mentioned me and Natalie used to work in River Island for years together.
That's
so
where
this
it all
is where this
started.
friendship is coming from. So you have hit 100k on Instagram. Girl, 100. It's actually more. Is it one?
It's like
it's getting there. Like,
I think.
Natalie, did you ever think this was going to be Natalie, your life?
You know what? Like, when I hit 100k,
That's a lot of people.
But I was like, I don't want to make a big deal out of this. But also, I've been working so hard at it. And there's obviously some people in my life who have really unusual professions. Race car driver, you know what I mean? But like that's...
Yes, but that's a cool profession.
But it's so freaking cool and it's
It
so
is.
unique online. And in my head, I'm like, no one is just another girl online. We are all individual people with individual thoughts and opinions and feelings, yes. But it was just so nice to be able to I suppose reach that number, having known I've not necessarily been the typical influencer. And there's nothing wrong with the typical influencer. But when you say that word, you kind of think perfectionism.
In Ireland, they just don't like that word. Now, I sometimes don't like that word,
I know,
right?
yeah.
And it's just, I suppose, that's a stupid way. I used to think that. It's a stupid way of thinking because everybody has a job.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Look, everyone's just trying to put food on the table and a roof over their head.
Also to succeed as a person. Like, I feel sometimes Irish people will look down on you if you're the one that pushes yourself.
Yeah.
Or
they
you
do.
put yourself out there,
Yeah.
God forbid.
It's so true. Like, you know yourself, Laura. There's been loads of little messages and little comments made
Yes.
towards
We
me
don't
over
forget.
the years.
Only
I
messing.
really hate how much I hold grudges. Like, I hold grudges
Yeah,
deep.
but look it, you're being
need
honest.
therapy
That's
for that.
okay. We all need therapy.
I recently started box fit with Laura because my grudges are
And I
like,
tell you one thing, she can throw a punch. You wouldn't think it by looking at her, but my God, she can hit. She can hit.
would recommend as a way to get out your frustration of grudges. But anyway, no,
Do you love being an influencer? Do you love being able to...
I don't love being an influencer.
Okay, right. That shuts that down. Tell me why.
I know you probably thought I'd say, oh, I know this.
I really thought you were going to say it.
I don't love being an influencer, but I love having a positive impact on people's lives. And
Yes.
if being an influencer is the only way that I have to do that right now, that's what I will do. But the only reason why I say I don't like being an influencer, and I'm not going to say I'm not, because like I am.
You were.
Like, I come across these people and they're like, I'm not an influencer. I'm just a normal guy. I'm like, you work with a brand, multiple brands. You have discount codes.
Yep.
You have over 200,000 followers.
Yep.
100. You're an influencer. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Use the word. But I think because people have so much
a stigma around
negativity
it,
towards
yeah,
that word
of course.
that I'm like, that's why I don't like it. I wish it had a more positive name. And look, there's, calling a spade, there's always the reality of the financial aspects being so fluid. And I'm like, when I'm 40 and 50, what's going to be the security financially there? Do you know, like, you have to think that way.
Future, yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I like having a positive impact on people's life. I like thinking that if someone comes across a video or a post of mine, it will help them, it will inspire them.
It does, Natalie.
Or it will just bring a smile to their face. Like, look, maybe if I make a video about struggling with my skin, that's going to help someone. If I put up a post talking about how amazing a holiday was, I'm not sure who that's going to help. So there's a bit of a fine balance.
But it's your life though too, you know.
It's just become a
it is your
page
job,
where-
obviously, so you need to be so particular. And I think people don't understand this. Some people might think that's just a page. It's not. That's Natalie working her ass off for absolutely years to get that to where it is. It didn't happen overnight to get to 100k.
And it's become a thing where, like, you do just share your day-to-day life as well. And I do enjoy doing that. So I enjoy that aspect of creating for sure. And I love working with brands that I love and that I align with. And that
You've
share a
always
similar
been that way
message.
though. You have to align with a brand.
Absolutely love
yeah.
it. Like, oh God, yeah, 100%.
Very important.
It is.
Is there any negatives, like you've been in this industry for so long, is there anything you'd love to change about this industry? I know that's a tough question, but there's
Obviously,
aspects of social media that we don't like.
I would love for people to be more honest sometimes.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest thing. It's so easy to just portray perfectionism online. I understand why people only want to portray perfectionism, and I guess it's a bit.
But
of
is
a,
that just to keep the authentic, like the aesthetic of their
This
page?
is the thing. It's a bit of a tough one to say I want to change because there's a pressure for people to portray perfectionism as well. Because often when you share some of the less attractive photos, excuse me, people can tend to see that and be like, I didn't follow them for this. I wanted to see the curated feed. Do you know, like, it's a tough
that's
one to get
mad,
right.
isn't it?
As much as I'd like to see more realism and authenticity, I think it's a difficult one to ask people to do, because when I'm in the depths of a low or a skin breakout, I mightn't necessarily want to share it there and then. So you don't want to put pressure on people to share their lows either. But I
course.
just think more realism in the influencer world would be welcomed.
Yeah, I think the word influencer would be a lot more welcomed, maybe, wouldn't it? And it's a shame that it has such a stigma around it. But I think if you're authentic and you were trying to help people, you've went through your experiences and therefore, you know, you're educating the younger people that's coming through to give them some advice and like some little tips. What would you say to Natalie back then? What was something that would have helped younger Natalie, 2016 Natalie, to see that you are going to be one of the most amazing people?
I would say don't be so self-conscious. Don't be so lacking in confidence. I definitely lacked a lot of confidence back then and still do sometimes.
And that actually is a bit crazy to me because I never would have thought that about you. Like even when we started working together, I was like, she's so beautiful.
Stop, you're so kind.
But it isn't mad that I'm there looking at you going, you're so beautiful, you're so perfect. But yet you were going through hardship in your head.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. I guess everyone has so much going on.
But that's why it's so important to voice these
Yeah,
things and
yeah.
for people not to feel alone.
Exactly. I think we just need to, what I would tell myself is be more confident in yourself. Don't be afraid of what others are going to think, even
Back
if it's
yourself.
negative. Because you're never, back yourself. Because you're never going to please everyone in this life. And I've definitely tried.
Yeah,
and
you have.
Like even the other day I saw a post where a girl was giving out about influencers, even though she also is an influencer. But I was like so upset after it. Like I felt so personally attacked, and it wasn't personally aimed at me.
It wasn't, but it touched a nerve.
I
Brought back
still
feelings.
struggle with that. Like people are allowed to have their opinions, but can we all just try and support each other in what we're trying to do? Like if what we're doing isn't actually harming anyone,
Exactly.
we're owning who we are.
Yeah.
We're just trying to grow. People can
trying
change.
to do our best.
Yeah, like people can change and grow, and just allow them, and don't be so
Hard on
spiteful
yourself,
towards it.
or spiteful,
From an outsider perspective and from an insider perspective, allow yourself that room for growth.
I'm going to ask you a question that I ask every person sitting on my couch. What does being made of more mean to you?
Ooh.
Deep. You can have your own personal take on it. That's why I think it's such an important question to ask people.
I think, I'm not sure how I want to put this into words, but it's the first thought that comes to mind is that like there's so much more to your aesthetic and people's first impression of you from how you look is not the be all and end all.
No, it really
if someone
isn't
going to take the time to get to know what's in here, well then they're not the type of person to have in your life. Because, I mean, let's face it, everything I've gone through has been from putting pressure on myself for how I look. And that's never been healthy. At the end of the day, like, look, we're women. We get our hair done. We wear makeup. I've spoken openly online before about how I've been getting Botox for years since I was, I'd say, 22. Like, you know.
She hated her forehead lines, wasn't it? She hated when she smiled.
But the thing is, like, it's totally okay if you love them.
That's
it's
your
totally
body,
okay if you don't want to get
It's
it. Yeah.
like, everyone did their own.
So, like, we're all going to want to do things for our appearance.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, that's never going to change. We're always going to want to maybe get stronger at one time in our life, maybe get more muscle, you know, after you've had a child and you want to get fitter again. Like, we're always going to want to change aspects. Maybe you want a bob, maybe you do want an extra
Maybe you
piercing.
always want to change.
Whatever it is, you want to change your aesthetic, that's okay. But don't get caught up in how others perceive you from the outside. Just give time to people who are going to give that time to you to get to know you on the inside. Because there have been so many people in my life since I started Instagram that just see the outside and go,
I know, but I know you, and it's so much more to you than that.
thank you, girl.
And like, I wish people could see it, but look, you can never change the world or how people think.
Exactly. So that's why the one thing I'd say is that you need to remember it within yourself, you know.
And you know what? I think if you educate yourself also on your body, on how you feel, not someone else, as I said as we were going through this, that to me, advice I would give would be that, you know, listen to your body. Everyone's body is different. Do things that is going to aid your mental health, that's going to aid your body and how strong you are. Because the stronger you are mentally and physically, you will be able to get through this world, which is so hard.
Honest to God, it's so true, Laura.
But it is so hard. And if this podcast episode does anything, I hope people see that no matter if on the outside it looks like you have everything okay, it's never that way.
Yeah.
That person also has stuff in their life that they've gone through, they have learned from, and that's why they are who they are today.
Yeah.
It's from their experiences.
And it's all relative to you.
Everything is. Yes.
Don't be comparing. I know we've all heard that a million times, but do not compare where you are in this life to anyone else or your problems to someone else's, because
what's for you won't pass you.
Exactly.
My mommy always used to say that to me.
And do you know what? I have a tattoo on my hip. Now I have it in Latin. I got it probably when I was 20. And the English of it is, not all that glitters is gold.
Oh my God, how did I not know this?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like non omna quod nita aurum.
Oh God, you're coming out with these words today that I
so ask me why I got Latin. Like, I don't know. No, that was a bit of a silly decision. But I was just like, it's that same thing. Like, people just think from the outside.
They do.
That's all that matters, when
there's a lot more to
you could be glittering, but
they
it
look
might
like
be golden. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also am going to wrap this up with how I do it every time, and this is something I absolutely love doing. It's a segment called Then, Now and Always.
Okay.
Super easy, okay?
Yeah.
I just want to hear 3 songs. So then would have been like when you were younger, now being now, and your forever and always song. So 3 of them.
Oh my
on the
God.
spot.
This is difficult.
Woo!
Then. How
So
long
then-
ago was then?
You can be however age you want. but
Fight
in
for
the
this
past.
love. Cheryl Cole.
Oh, really?
Gonna blare it on the way home
Oh
now.
my God. Now,
Yeah.
what's your favourite song now? Is she going to go country on me?
Right now, I'm gone a bit country.
Oh, Jesus.
How
Sorry
did
for
you
anyone
know I
that
was
likes
gonna say-
country. It doesn't look by looking at you.
That's
that was
really
weird.
scary. That is really scary.
But she's gone a country
So
girl. Oh,
Dixie
God.
Chicks, who actually became
Oh, they're
the
actually
Chicks,
really good.
they have a
though.
song called Texas Man, and I just love it.
Wow.
Listen to it, because it is country, but it's brilliant.
Country for a country girl.
Yeah, literally.
What is your always and forever song going to be?
It has to be a Taylor Swift song.
Oh, you're getting me with Taylor Swift now. You're actually killing my soul.
I'm such a classic hun. Which Taylor Swift song? Oh my
Sorry
God.
to any Taylor Swift people that like Taylor Swift because
oh my God.
is it
I
the
literally love
emotion in her
so many
songs
of her
that you
songs.
like?
I'm going to go home now and say this is not the actual song, but I like Enchanted. Everyone likes Enchanted. Well,
And,
Laura
like,
doesn't like Enchanted.
No, I really do not. That would actually put Nate like
House remix of Enchanted, she might.
Techno all the way. Thank you so much for being on my couch. I never thought me and you would be on the same couch in a podcast in my whole life if you had said it years ago. It's absolutely magic, and I am so happy to have shared that experience with you. I love you so very much. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Laura, and I love you too.
Just a shout out that this season's Made of More is sponsored by Empower Fitness Carlow. Train with world-class coaches and join classes built for lifelong results. Get stronger, feel better, be empowered. Find them on Instagram at Empower Fitness Carlow. That's a wrap for today. I really appreciate you sharing your story, Natalie. And to everyone tuning in, thank you for listening and see you in the next episode.
You've been listening to Made of More with Laura O'Donoghue, proudly sponsored by Empower Fitness Carlow. Train with world-class coaches and join classes built for lifelong results. Get stronger, feel better, be empowered. Find us on Instagram at Empower Fitness Carlow.